Everybody, welcome back to a brand new episode of The Lead. Your host, as always, Harley Dugan. We got a special episode here, ladies and gentlemen. This is the final mock draft for The Lead Houston, where it's all Houston all the time. Make sure you are subscribed. We are on the road to 8,000 subscribers. We are less than 400 subscribers away of getting to that goal, and then the ultimate goal of getting to 10K before the season starts. So without further ado, let's get into it. I am excited because, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow is draft day, and there are rumors of the Houston Texans trading up back into the first round. I will do that on a separate video, but without further ado, let's go ahead and let's get it going. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the final mock draft for my YouTube channel, and that's going to be tough because now I want to do some trade-ups. But you know what? I'm just going to stay pat. I'm just going to stay pat for this one. I'll do it on a separate video. We got the Houston Texans right here. As you see, ESPN Analytics. Yeah. For the final mock draft, we're going to use the ESPN mock draft simulator. So we already know what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, it's always a Houston Texans state of mind. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, the 2024 draft has started. So let's get into it. Caleb Williams is the first pick, as we all know, but we don't really care. You know, this is a Houston Texans state of mind. And Marvin Harrison Jr. going to the Titans would be absolutely dumb. I don't want that to happen. Anyway, let's get back into it. The Houston Texans are at 42. Yes, there's some rumors that maybe they could be trading back up to, and I'm going to go ahead and pause this real quick, but there is rumors that they could be trading back up into the first round. As you see here, the two guys that have been mentioned across Texans Twitter is Drizon Newton and Kool-Aid McKinstry. Those are the two guys right there. They're still available. Kool-Aid McKinstry goes to 26. And that's a sweet spot for the Houston Texans, because if he's down there available after 25, if I'm the Texans, I'm definitely looking about trading up for a Kool-Aid McKinstry. Right now at 31, the Houston Texans would be knocking on that door and trying to trade up for a Drizon Newton out of Illinois right now. And there he is at 31. He's not getting past the 49ers because, hey, they got rid of some defensive tackles. So without that, the Houston Texans are at 42, and now we are on the clock. Ladies and gentlemen, Ennis Rakestraw Jr. is the best player available in this draft. I have no problem with Ennis Rakestraw Jr., really solid player. Peyton Wilson is an uber athletic linebacker. I think he falls just because of the injury history. At the end of the day, this is a solid draft board right kick. You got Keon Coleman, big wide receiver out of Florida State. Braden Fisk, the other Florida State guy, strung into his year. Jonathan Brooks would be an absurd pick at 42, but damn, it would make this offense even better. You have Chris Jenkins still available. Ricky Pearsall's available. Kamari Lassiter was somebody that the ESPN mock draft that I had reacted to. It's down here on the channel. Make sure to check it out. It's a 3-round mock draft that the ESPN analysts Mel Kiper, Phil Yates, yeah, y'all know those names, they had drafted. One of them was Kamari Lassiter. So Junior Colson was somebody that Joe DeLeon, I had him on the channel. A lot of y'all disagreed with his offensive tackle take at 42. Believe me, I'm not taking no damn offensive lineman at 42. So let's get that out the way. All right. Now that we have introduced ourselves, let's continue moving on. Let's look at DT real quick. I do believe that's one of the biggest needs for this Texans team. I did like the idea of Brandon Dorless that Joe DeLeon had mentioned. But the best available right here is Braden Fisk, Chris Jenkins. I have no problem with either or of those players. Cornerback is very tough to pass up when Ennis Rakestraw Jr. is available there. That's a very tough pick to pass up there. We're going to have some fun and look at the safety position. And Javon Bullard is available. The Houston Texans already visited with him. We look at wide receiver just to be crazy. Why not? Keon Coleman is available. Ricky Pearsall's available. Troy Franklin, not the biggest fan of, but Roman Wilson is still available as well. The Houston Texans have a litany of wide receivers in this draft. There's plenty coming out later. And then linebacker, again, Peyton Wilson. That is somebody I continue to go back to. I really like Peyton Wilson. I really do. And that is somebody that is uber athletic. in the hands of D'Amico Ryans, I think could really transform his game. The injuries are a big concern, but damn, when he is healthy, he is one of the best linebackers in this draft, arguably. And yeah, Cedric Gray is still there. Junior Colson is still there. It's pretty top heavy when it comes to linebackers. That's about it. Jeremiah Truder Jr. is not so bad. After that, you're kind of picking straws at that point. I'm not the biggest fan of Tommy Eichenberg. Yeah, so you're kind of picking straws after that. I think the best one already came off the board in Edgerrin Cooper. But I do believe with the tutelage of D'Amico Ryans that I do think the Houston Texans are going to go linebacker at 42 when I look at this draft. And Peyton Wilson, ladies and gentlemen, you are a Houston Texan, Peyton Wilson from NC State. Yeah. Now the next pick is at 59. I have no problem with this so far, so I'm having some fun. Never used the ESPN mock draft simulator, so let's keep it going. Let's get it rolling. With that being said, bam, the Houston Texans are on the clock. T'Vondre Sweat is still available. I'm not the biggest T'Vondre Sweat fan. I just don't think he fits this scheme, and I'm just going to disregard him for that matter. So with that being said, we are going to continue on. They're not getting an edge guy. I'm still looking at that cornerback position. Cam Hart is available. That is somebody that Jordan Reed had mentioned as an underrated cornerback prospect. Houston Texans could be looking at him. Who knows? If you want to find that video, you can always scroll down in the YouTube channel and check it out. Mike Sainristil is the guy here for me. I'm the biggest fan of Mike Sainristil. He is an elite nickel corner. This Texans team doesn't have a nickel corner. Sure, Desmond King, he was good for you last year at the end of the year. Yeah, he also didn't make the team. And define good. He was all right. He was solid. He filled in when you needed him to, but at the end of the day, you also signed Miles Bryant. Miles Bryant was somebody that, I mean, what am I going to get out of Miles Bryant out of the New England Patriots? I don't know. I'm not expecting a lot from him. That, to me, already is a slam dunk automatic pick right there. Trey Benson is available, and that's not so bad either. We're going to look at safety real quick. Javon Bullard is available. That is somebody that the Houston Texans have already visited with. And it would not be a bad idea as well either. But I do believe that Mike Sainristil is the best player available here despite their rankings. And I don't know whose big board this is, but I think Mike Sainristil is a better player than a Cam Hart. And I would be extremely excited to pick him at 59, just like I did right now. So the Houston Texans now with Peyton Wilson, linebacker out of NC State, and then Mike Sainristil out of Michigan at number 59. And Joel Klatt, if anybody knows Joel Klatt, he's a college football analyst. He also commentates on college football games. He called him the best player on the best defense. Mike Sainristil is an elite nickel cornerback that can do it all at the nickel position. And he's just not a corner. He'll tackle too. He is an elite, really good tackler as well. This guy is a do-it-all corner at the nickel position. Offenses in the NFL today, they're pass-heavy, guys. You got to get somebody that is going to be in that nickel position and do as much as he can to benefit for this team. Now we're having some fun. And if I knew Cedric Gray was going to fall into the third round, I would have changed my mind at 42. But with that being said, T'Vondre Sweat's still available. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of T'Vondre Sweat. I just don't think he fits this scheme. Even at 86, I'm going to pass him up. Now, if he's there at 123, then I'll take him. But at the end of the day, I do believe this Houston Texans team is going to look elsewhere here. And I wonder what the safety position is. You got Htown Oladapo there. Cameron Kitchens is somebody that Joe DeLeon was gushing about, that he would really like him despite his poor combine performance. He thinks that he's still a very solid player despite it. Mekhi Wingo is someone that the Houston Texans, I believe, have already visited with. So he's available there. But other than that, the DT position there isn't so hot. I mean, I do like McKinley Jackson there, and that's probably somebody that I'm going to be looking at a little bit later. And there's someone right there in Ben Sinnott that, and I know a lot of people are going to be like, a tight end? I think Ben Sinnott is a difference maker at tight end, despite his height and weight. He's about 6'3". He's on the short end of 6'3" when it comes to tight end, but he's an uber athletic player that I think the Houston Texans are really circling as an under the radar player for them going into this coming year, just because Ben Sinnott does everything the Houston Texans want him to do. And I'm going to go with Ben Sinnott here at 86. I think he is arguably the most underrated player in this NFL draft. Not only does he play tight end, he also plays fullback. He does both very well. The reason why is because, damn it, he's a freaking good blocker. All right, I have no problem with that whatsoever. And not only does he block extremely well, but the man has great hands. He catches great, solid route runner. You're not having him to just thrust it into the starting role at tight end. No, he's going to come in with Dalton Schultz and Brevin Jordan. Tian Guttoriano is still on this team as well, but I believe Ben Sinnott opens up this run game a lot more for the Houston Texans. And I'm confident in the Texans run game because not only did they add Joe Mixon, not only do they still have Dameon Pierce, whatever faith you have in him, I'm not going to disagree with it. But the running back position isn't something that I go crazy about, because in this scheme, in this system, we have seen numerous times that it's pretty nice to find running backs. It's pretty easy to find, actually, and I have no problem with it. I'm going to look back at running back again, and bam, there's two guys immediately that I see that I like right away, and one of them being Ray Davis. Ray Davis was somebody that the Houston Texans have already visited with. He's already been with this team already. He's talked to them. And then the second guy for me is Isaac Guerendo. And I believe Isaac Guerendo, we've seen some people, oh, I did not mean to do that. Oh, no. What do I do now? The draft is over. Then we go to safety real quick. Sorry about that. We go to safety real quick. Oh, well. We go into safety real quick. You know, nothing too crazy. I do like Malik Mustafa here out of Wake Forest. I don't have a problem with that whatsoever. The center guard positions, you know, Cedric Van Pran is not a bad idea here whatsoever. Just, you know, just because you never know with the guard position for this Houston Texans team. But I do like that they have Kendrick Green. They got Kendrick Green, and they got James Patterson. Three guys that are going to be competing for that left guard spot. We already got Ben Sinnott. The cornerback position, Cameron Richardson is a pretty underrated corner that I like. Elijah Jones is still here as well, someone I've already talked about before. But I'm going to go running back, and I'm going to go different here. I'm going to reach a little here, and I'm going to get Isaac Guerendo, and I think this is a very solid choice for the Houston Texans at 123. Remember, we got a quick one here because 127, boom, you are here at 127, and the Houston Texans are on the board. I've already picked Isaac Guerendo, who I believe, and I think I've seen this, I forgot what scout this was, and it might have been PFF or PFN, but they mentioned Isaac Guerendo as the best outside zone running back in the NFL draft. And ladies and gentlemen, we run a zone running scheme. I would love to get what is considered the best outside zone guy for that scheme. So, yeah, I have no problem with that whatsoever. For safety, I'm going to go. That's where I'm going to go, is the safety position here. Well, let me take a quick look at DT. There wasn't anything going too crazy there besides McKinley Jackson, who I don't mind at all, and that's a tough one for me. I like Malik Mustafa. I also like McKinley Jackson. I'm going to lean on McKinley Jackson. That is somebody that Joe DeLeon was really liking. And the value here at 127, again, I don't really agree with their rankings here for these players. That's something that I wouldn't pay attention to if I'm the viewer right now. But McKinley Jackson is considerably worth it at 127 here. You filled in another defensive tackle. You know the Texans are going to try to grab another DT. And that was what was rumored according to The Athletic. So the Houston Texans now getting McKinley Jackson, still filling out the defensive tackle position. You add some more youth to it, and there's no problem with it whatsoever. And that was the last pick for the Houston Texans, considering we don't have a fifth-round pick. So with that being said, The Houston Texans next pick, I believe, was like 188 or 189. I know it's like a back-to-back, 187, 188, 188, 189, something like that. Considering that, the Houston Texans are now done here with the NBA. Here with the NFL draft, you got Peyton Wilson, Mike Sainristil, Ben Sinnott, Isaac Guerrero, and McKinley Jackson. They show you the chance available at pick 92%, Sainristil 67%. Ben Sinnott, 50% right there. Guerrero, they're saying more than a 95% chance he will be there at the 4th round. I have no problem picking him there. Again, I'm not the biggest fan on these rankings, but regardless, this is not bad draft at all. McKinley Jackson, solid pick here as well. So the Houston Texans attacked the linebacker position. They attacked the secondary. They attacked the defense, and they still get some playmakers on offense. And overall, this is a perfectly balanced draft. This is, to me, the final mock draft for the Houston Texans. What would be a very solid mock draft. Again, address the linebacker need. You're still getting, to me, the best slot corner in this draft, an elite one at that. Ben Sinnott is a super underrated athletic tight end that you're getting here. Isaac Guerrero, considered the best outside zone runner in the NFL draft. And then McKinley Jackson is going to be in that rotation at defensive tackle, someone that's going to get some reps at starting in the 4th round, just considering what DeMeco Ryans did last year. This Houston Texans team, ladies and gentlemen, it's a pretty solid draft right there. So without further ado, make sure you are subscribed to the channel if you're still watching. Make sure you are swarming. Drop a swarm for me in the chat if you're still watching. As always, guys, go Astros, go Rockets, go Texans. You have a blessed day.